All right. Hello, guys. It is 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's what that stands for. And Alan Urizar and myself, Eric Abbey, are here to do some arbitrage Q&A and to talk about Approi Scanner and just talk about Amazon in general. Alan has sold on Amazon for a number of years. So have I. We both really have an affinity for arbitrage. Which again, if you've never really heard that term, is very simple. It's finding a commodity in one market and purchasing that commodity at a discounted rate, and then turning around and leveraging a different market where you can sell that same commodity at a profit. And so it's an economic term that's been used for a long time. And Amazon has really opened up some sweet opportunities for you to maximize the online market. And Amazon's popularity helps that because, as you know, your family and your friends shop on Amazon all the time. And so when we can find discounted products locally or in various online websites and then purchase those and turn around and sell them on Amazon for a profit, we're able to really build an online e-commerce business doing that. And that can mean profits and it can mean margin for your budget. And we've both experienced that. Alan, why don't you say hello?
Yes, hi everybody. I hope you guys are doing well and you guys are ready to keep the conversation about Amazon. I know Amazon brings a lot of different topics for us to talk about as sellers. So we're gonna be here for a little while just chatting with you and talking about Amazon and everything that has to do with Amazon.
Yeah, and it'll be fun. I see Tibor with us. Welcome, my friend. Glad for you to join us. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to hear what they are. And if anybody else is joining, if you're with us live and you have questions, we'd love for this to just be kind of a general Q&A for arbitrage. And so really there's no question that's out of bounds. If it has to do with arbitrage or has to do with selling on Amazon, we're happy to talk about it. We will look specifically at Approi Scanner a little bit because it's what we like to do on these Monday calls. And we also want to talk a little bit about just trying to keep up with Amazon, who is always changing. This is true probably for just about any business, I would think. Your business is kind of one step away from being in trouble if you've just grown stagnant and you're not willing to flex with things that change. So we live in a changing world, and certainly if you're active as a seller on Amazon, you're in a context that's going to be ever changing. And it's not just because Amazon's whimsical or they just like to do things to make sellers angry. I mean, maybe those are true sometimes, but I think the reality is
that's the way we feel sometimes.
Yeah, that's the way it feels. That's probably the best way to say it. Because sometimes change is hard to navigate and it can be frustrating. And Amazon's big, and sometimes as a small seller, you can kind of feel stepped on. But that's just the reality of the context we're in. And you can choose to either navigate that with strategy and further entrepreneurialism and a good attitude, or you can just kind of get mad about it, which typically doesn't do your business any good. And so we do want to talk a little bit about how to change along with Amazon, how to be flexible. And I'm curious, Alan, what you think are kind of the top 2 or 3 areas, or maybe the one area. I don't know. What are some of the things that you have seen Amazon do to make changes even recently that you've just been aware of? Or, we're getting feedback from people fairly often as to what their frustrations are. So either Just One Dime members or associates of yours, what have you kind of been hearing?
Sure. I think one of the main things that we have to realize and understand is that Amazon is always testing different ways to make the experience of the customer better. And in doing those changes, we're always gonna, as sellers, we're always gonna have to deal with some of the changes that Amazon does. Because it's always, ultimate is always looking for that, better experience for the customer. For us as sellers, I think some of the big changes, not that they just made, but it feels like Amazon is always, every time they do a big change and they start working on that, it kind of takes a little while for them to catch up, with updating or upgrading, everything on the catalog, since the catalog is really big and there's a lot of products that they don't really have a lot of movement, and then there's other ones that have a lot of movement. So one of the things that I've been chatting with a lot of people lately is that, for example, some of the big changes that Amazon does is now a lot of new brands have the ability to go into their account, establish their account, all their listings for the products that they sell on Amazon, and now a lot of companies, they have the ability to restrict those listings for all the sellers, and that's been happening for a long time. But Amazon is kind of catching up to all of those things, and sometimes we'll have something that we found on the store, and we scan the item, and Amazon says you can sell it, you're approved to sell it. So we buy that product, prep it and send it to the warehouse. Sometimes we even sell a few units, and then all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and now you're restricted to sell that product. And but we find, we kind of get quite a few of those products in the last maybe month, 2 months, that we've been selling with no problems, and now they're restricted. Or I just scanned this yesterday, and now I'm trying to send it to Amazon. Now it says that I'm restricted. So I don't know if you found these kind of issues, but I've seen that issue happening a lot more often in the last few months, and I think it's because Amazon is every time they if there's a listing that had any change made by the owner of that brand, and Amazon didn't upgrade it or update the pages soon. Once you scan it, maybe that when you scan it, it shows you can sell it. But then once you start adding that listing to your inventory, it kind of updates the listing page or their software, and then all of a sudden you cannot sell it. So that's one of the big changes I've been noticing. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I have, yeah. I've had similar experiences to what you're talking about. I think it's helpful to step back and kind of recognize that this is something we want Amazon to do. So it's easy to miss the forest for the trees when you're staring at a tree that's frustrating you because you did send in products and now you're restricted. And I've experienced exactly what you're talking about. But I think the forest perspective is we really are thankful that Amazon's dealing with this issue, because there was, really 2 years ago, it was becoming a really rampant problem where sellers who had no integrity were wreaking all kinds of havoc, and they were hijacking listings and selling counterfeit products. And Amazon's customer service kind of tanked because they were getting a ton of negative response from customers that they were getting knockoffs, and it was clear that counterfeit products were being sold. Maybe, you guys have experienced as customers, you order something from Amazon and then you realize what you ordered is coming from a third-party seller that's likely in China or somewhere overseas, and it's going to take 3 weeks to ship, and you get it and it's not really what you would have expected. And so Amazon was having to deal with this.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started selling 6 or 7 years ago, Amazon was kind of like the Wild West. You could do whatever you wanted. You could just create listings, and if people were restricted in the category that they were supposed to sell the product in, they just go and list the category in groceries or something. And so they'd be selling a power tool under the groceries category because they could. And like, people were just doing everything they want, whatever they wanted to do. I think Amazon has realized they need to get some control, right, and they need to give some control to the brand rights owners, which can introduce frustrations for those of us doing arbitrage. But it's helpful to just see, like, this is a good thing that Amazon's trying to do. Right. And so I think that helps us to kind of emotionally process these frustrations and to be able to move forward with them. What are some of the practical things you do, Alan, when you encounter that kind of thing happening? How do you deal with it?
Well, it's gonna depend on every situation. But for example, to the point that you were making right now, I just had this week. I had an issue with a product that I'm selling. I sent about 6 units maybe 10 days ago, and then a few days ago I look at my inventory, and I already have the product in the warehouse, but it's it's not active.
Is it suppressed?
It's not super. It's just under the how do you call it? The name just escaped me, but it's not. It's just not active. So I was looking at the issue that it had, and it said that the listing was in the async number that I put it in didn't exist. So I go and I click on the product, and I can see the actual page, but the listing when you try to add it to your inventory, it says that it doesn't exist. And I have my inventory on the warehouse, so I requested it back. Luckily, they send it back, so I got it on Friday. So this is within the last 2 weeks that I sent the product. It got to the warehouse, but it became unavailable. So I was looking at all that, and then I noticed that the listing that I was using and is not longer available, it's under groceries, but the product that I'm selling, it's under arts and crafts. So I went and I started looking for that product in a different category, and I end up finding the same product but in the right category. So then I grabbed that async number. I got my products on Friday, so I'm resending those products again under the right async, and hopefully that will solve the issue. But a lot of people, when they find these issues and they don't really have experience, they will just think that Amazon is not, it's they don't want new sellers, or they're being unfair with them. But it's just Amazon got to the point where now they figured out that listing isn't supposed to be on that category, so they just erase that listing, and all of your products, you have to request them back and resend them under the right product async. So there's a lot of different things that are going to happen like that, and some people get frustrated and they get mad about those situations. I just try to figure out what happened, and how can I fix it. And luckily this time we were able to fix it really fast.
That's awesome. I see Andrew joined us. Good to see you, Andrew. I'm glad that you love ROI Scanner.
That's good.
Tell us what you love about it, and if you have any questions, Andrew, now's the time. You've got Alan, the man right here, ready to answer any questions you have. So if there's any specific questions you have about ROI Scanner, put them out there, Andrew, or any questions about arbitrage in general. Take advantage of this time, the fact that you've got us here. We're happy to interact with you. Glad you're having a really good experience with ROI Scanner. We're just talking a little bit about what you do to navigate restrictions when they surprise you, because Amazon does seem to be doing that. I've had products where I sent it in, I got hit with a restriction after I sent it in, and then I applied and got the restriction removed, and I never even had to create a removal order. I just had to go through the paces. So I don't know why that's happened. Then there's been other times where I've created the removal order. So again, every time you run into a restriction, try to get automatic approval. And I've had cases where an item that I actually sent in for FBA got restricted. I applied and got automatic approval and just left it there. I've also had situations where I created a removal order and maybe I held on to the product for a while. And then sometimes I go through my garage and I scan old products. I've got shelves over here where if I can't sell something, I list it on eBay, or if I don't have time, it just sits there. I've actually gone through my garage and scanned old products and found that I can get unrestricted. And so then I just kind of shop from my shelves and send stuff in. And so restrictions are dynamic, and it's part of the ever-changing platform of Amazon. And so I think just being persistent to see if you can sell products is a good way to move towards that. Other things that you see Amazon doing by way of making changes, Alan?
Yeah, sure. Last 2-3 weeks ago, Amazon, I don't know if you remember the way that Amazon usually shows, and I can probably share my screen to kind of show you this, but the way that Amazon usually shows a product listing is, for example, I'm gonna close this real quick. When you're on the listing right here, Usually, when you click on this, it's gonna open up a new window, and it's gonna show you. It used to show you the list of all the sellers here and the pricing and everything. And now, when you click on that page, it kind of just opens a new another window of the listing, and it shows all the sellers on this side of the page now.
Yeah, because the instead of giving you a whole new page, it just
Right.
pops out from the side. This has been a frustrator for me because I liked the old way of doing it much better. I don't know about you.
Yes, well, it was a lot better for us to kind of analyze products and all that. When that changed, because if you're on ROI Scanner and you click here where it says check seller stock levels, we will take that page, the old page that we used to get before here, and we will go in there and kind of look at this information and grab the stocks and all the information for the seller. So one day they just erased that page. So we were forced to figure out, okay, how do we get this information? So the only way that we figured out that we can get it is now if you go into this option right here, click on it, and it's going to show you that information. So one of the fix that we did on ROI Scanner is that now if you, for example, if I click here and I loaded ROI Scanner, it's going to show me the stock for each seller. So now you can see it here. We even put it in red so we can kind of notice that real quick. And it shows you all your stock here. And then about a week later, we were able to figure out that we can still get all the information that we used to have before. So now we're able to even show the same information here and on this sidebar. So we end up having to update the software to the point of now we have two different ways to show the stock. So that was a good thing for us that we end up being able to show it and do two different places. But it was a 2-week period that it was very frustrating because Amazon one day they will let us see the old page, and then a couple of days later they will remove it, and then they will try to put it back again. They were doing a lot of changes with these two pages for like a week and a half until they decided, okay, we're not showing it. We're going to show you the sidebar, and now we're able to show you data, straight from the app right here. But also, if you click here, it's going to show you that data. So those are the little things that you have to adapt to what to Amazon changes. Otherwise, a lot of people they just get frustrated and they end up giving up. But it's really just okay, now that we have this change and Amazon is trying to make it easier and nicer for customers, how do we adapt as sellers to find that information and use it to analyze our products?
Yeah, and sometimes it's as simple as being an old dog and needing to wanting to learn a new trick, because it's just kind of a stylistic thing. For some reason, I stumble over that specifically. Yeah. Well, while we're talking specifics regarding ROI Scanner, Andrew's asking, he's wondering about all the stores that are linked to ROI Scanner. Is there a list of all those?
Sure. Yeah, that's easy. If you come here to the little settings gear, and you click on that, that's going to give you a menu now. And if you look at the second option, it says stores, and that's going to take you straight to our page where we list all of the stores that we are supporting right now. We are getting ready to release another 10 stores in the next maybe week and a half. So that's going to increase our list to about 27 stores. Right now 26 stores. Right now we have 16. And then, we're going to add another 10 to that. But this is the list where you're going to end up seeing, hopefully, we hope that by the end of the year, we have at least close to 350 stores.
Do you know what a couple of those 10 that are about to be added are?
One of them is going to be Belk, and the other one is Zoro. I don't know if you've heard of that store. It's Zoro.com. Okay. I usually buy a lot of stuff from there. So those are two of them, and I don't have the whole list in front of me, but it's gonna be 10 of them. And we have a list 400 stores that in the US that we can that we're gonna be working in the next at least this year. But we're gonna be adding them 10 by 10, and then by the end of April, we are working on trying to get Mexico open. In Mexico, we have at least 35 stores that we're gonna end up opening. We might open with maybe 5 or 10 stores, but that's what we're working on right now.
And this is awesome because this is the best advantage, in my opinion, that ROI Scanner offers, is that you can open it up right in the retail web page and just go to work. So if you click on that list, will it take you right to the store, the list that you had up?
No,
are those active links? Or?
No, but I can make an active. I can make those active if you.
Well, it's as simple as you just put in HomeDepot.com or whatever you need to do. Yeah,
we can do that. Something that I want to show you, maybe this is going to be released in the next, hopefully next 2 weeks, is our, I don't know if you see it there, our Android app. So we already, it's already, it's already I already have it up and running, but I have to make sure that everything works perfectly. So we're working on the Android app, which is going to be released maybe in the next few weeks, and then we're working on the iPhone app as well.
Cool. Why don't you show our viewers one more time how to get to that list of stores?
Sure. Let's go to that. So when you're on the ROI Scanner app, you can just click here on the gear, go down to stores, and you click on that, and that's going to take you to that page where you have the list of all the stores. And we're going to keep adding stores to this list in the next few weeks.
Very cool. Tibor wants to know if you're going to do anything with Canada.
Yes, it's our goal is to, after we release Mexico, then move to Canada. Hopefully, we're gonna end up, opening Europe, but that's gonna be maybe towards the end of the year. I don't know about Canada, maybe in the next 6 months or so.
Very cool. Andrew's also asking about the link to Seller Central account. There's the access that the ROI Scanner app has to the Seller Central account is very limited, isn't it? For example, he's asking, can you see all the products in his inventory?
Oh, that's going to be on the software. So, for example, let me go back and let me see if I can show you my.
I think he's just asking what the nature is of the relationship between ROI Scanner and his Seller Central account. Because the nice thing about the Chrome extension is that when you're scanning products, you can just click and it'll take you right to Seller Central, and you can list the products right there. But the tool doesn't have wholesale access to your Amazon account or anything.
No, the only reason why we connected to your Seller Central is because it's a lot faster for us to use your connection to show product information and all of that. But then on our dashboard on the website, you have access to the inventory health reports in a very nice and easy way to understand. So you can see all of your listings, which ones are with higher ranks and lower ranks, and which ones have you can see the inventory age and the rank analysis for that, for your inventory, your specific inventory.
Right. So you can see that. Kind of talk the viewers through how to access that and see it.
Okay, so once you log into your account on
the website, right? You're not
on the website. You go to app.roiscanner.com. You log in for the software, and once you connect your inventory, you're gonna see right here all of your total inventory, and then you can see how many products you have. They're being on the website in the less than 3 months, less than 6 months, less than 9 months. And if you're getting products that are approaching the 12-month mark, you can kind of see, what do you need to do in order to sell them faster. You can also see, and this is in this box right here, and also in a graphic form right here. And then you can see your rank analysis, or how many products or how many units you have in the 0 to 250,000 rank, along with the graph. And so, for example, if you have something that is really, really high, you can kind of see, okay, what are these products, and if I can do something to sell them or move them faster, you can kind of go there. And then on this side, you're gonna see your top selling ASINs. So I have a few products that the rank is 6 on their category, so I can come in and kind of see what kind of product it is, and if I can. Those are going to be the fastest selling, and then you can see the higher ranks right here. So I have one product or one ASIN that I have products on that has 7 million ranks. So I know that I have to do something about this. And then you can even go and look at the specific category. So what do I have on the office product? So I have 14 products. Everything is good, with good marking, with good rankings, and it's selling, it's selling fast. It hasn't been a long time in the warehouse, and I can go to beauty, and I can kind of look at each category specifically and see, what are my best categories, and you can see the overall here.
That's very cool. There's just so many features with this. I think there's just a lot to learn about how to really take advantage of everything that's available through Approi Scanner. So Andrew, hopefully that was helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to type them in. Other changes that we're seeing Amazon make, I know a lot is happening and has happened in regard to IPI score and the restrictions that come with that, and other kinds of restrictions. So the last 6 months, sellers have had to deal a ton with 200 unit restrictions on new ASINs. I know that pertains more to private label. How do you see this impacting arbitrage?
Well, I think one of the things that we need to be in top of in our business, because we're doing arbitrage, is gonna be having our account clean, taking care of all these listings that we need to remove, and making sure that our metrics on the IPI are good. One of the things, I don't know if you got the email, but Amazon just sent an email, I think last week, announcing that the new metric is 450 for the next update that they do. So they went from 500, they went down to 450 again, and that's going to help you, because most people that do arbitrage, some of the metrics are going to be very hard to keep up, like some of the inventory, if it starts getting if it's not selling fast enough, it's gonna have an impact on your metrics. So that's why I wanted to have the inventory health dashboard on Approi Scanner, because that way you can keep track of those stats very, very easy.
Yeah, and that's super helpful. You guys need to be tracking your IPI score, which is your inventory performance index. And it is hard with arbitrage, your sell-through rate, and keeping track of inactive listings and stuff like that. If you want to see how this impacts is impacting potential limits, you can go to your shipping queue within Amazon Seller Central, and then it can be easy to overlook. But if you go into your shipping queue, so you go into inventory, manage inventory, click on shipping queue. When you look at your shipping queue, at the very bottom, there's going to be a little indication of your storage volume. If it's green, it is an indication you're in good shape. If it's yellow, it's kind of a caution. And if it's red, it means for some reason you've exceeded your storage limits. If you have a bunch of stuff in there and then they give you a limit, it's going to potentially be red. And it gets broken down into different areas. So you've got standard size storage versus oversized storage. The limitations are going to affect both of those. And then, Alan and I sell a lot of shoes and clothing, or have traditionally. And so you've got an apparel storage limit, you've got footwear storage limits, and other things that come up. And you can see that if you click on at the bottom of your shipping queue where it says storage volume, if you click on that, it'll pull up kind of the details of what you're having to navigate there. And I'm trying to see Yeah, yours look a little different. You've got flammable storage.
Yeah, and aerosol storage, but it's not active, so I might need to do something to get this active or get approved for that. But I noticed that this started showing up on my
Yeah,
shipment.
that's interesting because I don't have those two categories at all. They just aren't there.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's they're always testing and doing stuff with some accounts, but it's just you just need to try to figure out what to do in those cases.
Yeah. Well, we're past a half hour, and I think we might wrap things up here. I don't see any other questions. I think it's really helpful to see how ROI Scanner can be very helpful for you in just paying attention to your inventory and paying attention to inventory health. This is something that Amazon's been addressing big time in the last 6 months, and I think will continue to address. I know private label folks are having to navigate this new restriction and really think through that sort of thing. So hopefully this has been helpful for you guys, just navigating kind of changes that Amazon's making, being able to adapt and kind of roll with the punches. We want to try to stay current with everything that Amazon's doing. And so that's part of what we're trying to address. Anything else before we sign off, Alan?
No, man, I hope this helped you a little bit, and just keep in mind that Amazon is always going to be changing. It's been changing since I started in 2016. So we just need to adapt and make sure, to know what to do when Amazon changes, and just keep moving forward. I think you're always going to be learning something new as an Amazon seller, and we just encourage everybody to keep, positive and keep learning and just keep building their inventory. And just let us know if you have any questions, and if you want to try or test ROI Scanner, we have the links down below in the description, and you can give it a test.
Yeah, I think that's a good word. All right. Well, we're planning on being back here next Monday. So look for us. Subscribe to the ROI Scanner channel. If you haven't already, give a like to this video, and we'll see you next time. Take care, guys.
Bye, guys. Take care.